Hey everybody, welcome back to another production brought to you by T&S Virtual Farms. Today what I'm doing is I am baling some alfalfa. I'm out here with my Massey Ferguson 390T and my Massey Ferguson Heston 1840 square baler, and I'm out here in an alfalfa field that I've made some outside rounds on so far, and I'm baling up some alfalfa. Now, if those of you who are familiar with alfalfa in FS19 will notice, if you played with it very much, you'll notice that my textures look a little bit different. So this darker green texture is my wet alfalfa, so non-tedded alfalfa texture, and this texture here is the dry or the tedded alfalfa texture. Now, on Medicine Creek, which is what this map is that I'm on right now, originally this texture that you're seeing right in front of me, or right in front of you rather, this was the wet alfalfa or the non-tedded alfalfa texture. I didn't really care for that because after I tedded the alfalfa or dried the alfalfa, it was almost white. It just seemed like it was too white for my taste. So what I actually did is I changed the original wet alfalfa, high moisture alfalfa texture to the dry texture, and I changed the color and added a little bit darker, looks greener, looks less dry texture to my non-tedded alfalfa. But enough about that. What we're really here for today is to come up with our own custom alfalfa texture for our alfalfa bales, because frankly these are kind of lame. And the reason why I say these are kind of lame is sorry guys, I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat, so to speak. I've had a bit of a cold. So anyways, as you'll see here, this is an alfalfa hay bale. This here is an alfalfa bale, or a non-tedded, high moisture alfalfa, whatever you want to call it. But the thing about this is that when I originally set alfalfa bales up on this baler, I didn't bother to make a custom alfalfa bale texture bale texture. So this is actually the vanilla, if you will, the vanilla grass hay texture from the stock game, and this is the vanilla stock grass texture from the game. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to set up a custom bale texture for alfalfa bales, or whatever kind of bales you might want to set up a custom texture for. So stay tuned. We're gonna back out of the game right quick, and I will be right back with you. All right, everybody, we're out of the game here. I've got three file folders open here in Windows, and we're gonna take a look at a few things here. So first off, I have already in paint.net, I have already created my custom bale alfalfa bale texture, and I debated whether I should show you guys how I made this, or should I just kind of glaze over it, because I don't want to bore you guys. So here's what I've decided. If you guys want to see how I made this texture, this custom alfalfa texture right here that we're looking at, if you guys want to see how I did that, I need 10 people to say in the comments of this video, I want to see how you made that custom texture. Because if there are some of you guys that are not familiar with paint.net and don't really know how to do this kind of a thing, I'm willing to make another video and show you precisely how I derived this custom texture you see in front of you. But in this video, I don't want to bore anybody with that. So give me 10 comments from 10 different people, 10 different accounts, in the comments saying, hey, I want to know how you made that custom texture, and I'll make a separate video on how I created this here in front of me. Okay, so let's get on with this. I'm gonna close this. All right, I have all these custom textures. I have them just in a folder on my desktop. That's really not where this stuff is not really important, because we're going to be copying and pasting into some older folders. I just wanted to show you that I had already prepared that ahead of this video. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our mod folders, and this is where sorry guys, excuse me. This is where my mod folder is. It's in my D drive. Now I don't know where you guys' mod folder is, but you do. So go to your mod folder, and we're going to look down through here, and we're going to find our MF 1840 Baler. And if you'll notice, this is an unzipped folder. Alright, so we're going to open this, and we're going to go to our HD Bales folder. Alright, so here are the original bales, like, you know, the grass bales, the hay bales, the straw bales, all that come with the vanilla baler and the vanilla, you know, that are part of the vanilla game. And if you'll look back, and I'll put a link right here. I'll put a little thingy up in the top right hand corner that directs you to the first video where I prepared the alfalfa bale and the alfalfa hay bale for this baler. If you haven't watched that video, you might want to go back right now and study on that, and then catch up to where we are now. But getting on with this. Okay, so what we got to do first is we have got to put our custom texture in this folder for the baler, so that we can reference the i3D file can reference the texture, so it knows how to paint the bale, basically. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back over here to our Bale textures folder, and remember, this is just the folder on my desktop in which I created all these textures. Okay, we're going to say on our Bale alfalfa hay 240 diffuse, and this is a PNG file. That's very important. PNG file. We're going to right click, we're going to get in here, and we're going to say copy. Now we're going to go over here to our, again, we're in our MF 1840 baler, HD bales. We're in our bale folder. We're going to right click again, and we're going to say paste. And it's going to show up right here. So our Bale alfalfa hay 240 diffuse PNG file has showed up right here. Good to go. Now, the next thing that we need to do is, since this is for alfalfa hay, in other words, tedded alfalfa, dried alfalfa, we're going to go up here to our Bale alfalfa hay 100. Now we're going to right click, and we're going to say edit with Notepad++, and that's going to open up the text version of the i3D file. So the thing we got to do in the i3D file right here is we have got to update this file ID to, we have to update this file name, or this file path. What we're going to update it to is the file that we just pasted in that folder. So all we got to do here is right here, we got to make this say Bale alfalfa hay 240, and this is going to be PNG. Alright, so Bale alfalfa hay 240 underscore diffuse PNG. Remember, if we go over here to our HD Bales folder, we're going to see what we pasted in is Bale Alfalfa Hay 240 underscore diffuse, and it's a .png file. Okay, very important. If this file right here doesn't match what we put in up here in the i3D file, it's not going to work. It's not going to jive. You're going to get like a white hay bale, or you're going to get something, weird happen. All right, so we're going to save that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here to I have a separate window open here. So we're going to go and do our mod folder again, and mine is in the D drive, mod folder. And we're going to go in here, and since the map we're on is Medicine Creek, we're going to open up Medicine Creek. And we're going to go to the first folder, which is Bales. And we're going to go into HD small square bales, because this is a small square bales folder that I set up for the baler for the MF 1840. And this was back in the first video that I was mentioning earlier. So we're going to go in here, and again, we are going to say, and get rid of that, make sure I get the correct one in. We're going to go back over here to our bales, our bale textures, and we're going to right click, and we're going to copy, come over here, right click again, paste, and we're going to paste that in there. Okay, and this is the same PNG file that we pasted in our baler folder. Okay, except this time we're putting it in the map in question, bales, and then wherever your bales for your baler are set up. Okay, so we're going to put that in there, and again we're going to go up here to Bale Alfalfa Hay. We're going to right click it, edit with Notepad, and we're going to do the same thing here. This has got to say Bale Alfalfa Hay underscore diffuse dot png. Okay, we're going to save that. So now we should be good to go, but I'm going to go another step further, and I don't really know why anybody would want to bale wet small square bales of alfalfa. I don't know if you can make baleage out of small square bales. I guess you could if you wanted to wrap them, but so I'm gonna but anyways, regardless, I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to make a bale alfalfa texture. So this would be the wet alfalfa. So if I happen to bale wet alfalfa, this would be a custom texture for the wet alfalfa bales. That's why in the beginning of the video I showed you the difference between my wet alfalfa texture, windrow texture, and my dry alfalfa windrow texture. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to copy this file right here. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to paste a copy right in here. Okay, so now this is my Bale Alfalfa Hay 240 underscore diffuse copy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the copy, and I'm going to get rid of the hay part. So now what I've got here is Bale Alfalfa 240 underscore diffuse. Alright, and again, that is a PNG file. Alright, so I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to open it up in paint.net. And we can go right down here, open with paint.net. And that's going to open up for us. I'm going to zoom in here, make this a little bit bigger. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, so this is the correct color for a dry alfalfa bale in the game. So this color, the green and the yellowish colors you see here, that matches the dry alfalfa windrows in the game, right? Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to make this match the wet alfalfa windrow texture in the game. So it needs to be darker. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to go up here to adjustments, and I come down here and I'm going to go to hue and saturation. This little box pops up. Okay, I remember I wrote down the values that I changed when I changed my windrow texture. And so all I've got to do now is just apply those to this bale texture, and my wet windrow is going to match my wet bales, and my dry windrow is going to match my dry bales. So my values were, let's see here, it was a plus 20 on the hue. See how that turns that green? You go back to 0 here, into 0, I'm talking about the 0 right here. Come over here to 20, see how it gets greener. All right, and on my saturation, my value was 95. So I'm going to click once over here. It's going to come down to 95. And you can type these in over here too. I mean, I could type in 20, type in 95. This one I'm going to change, and it needs to be a negative 20. So I can just, you can just type it in, and it'll just change. All right, so now this texture and how we changed it, how we made it darker, is going to match the windrow, the wet windrow in game. Okay, so I beat that. I've absolutely beat that in the ground. I'm sorry I'm boring you guys. I'm trying to be thorough for those who are not super familiar with paint.net and super familiar with this texture stuff. And I'll be the first person to tell you, I'm not an expert on paint.net. I'm not an expert on FS19 textures. I just am not satisfied a lot of the times with the vanilla stuff. So I got to figure out how to make my own. Okay. We should be done here. Make sure I save it. All right, good to go. So now we got, see how this is darker? You can just visibly see in the thumbnail that it's darker. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to right click, and we're going to say copy. And we are going to come down here to our HD Bales, which is the first folder that we started working in. We're going to right click, and we're going to say paste. And so now, if you'll notice here, not only do we have the Bale Alfalfa Hay 240 that we pasted in first, now we have our Bale Alfalfa 240. So in other words, the wet bale. And again, it's a PNG file. Okay, so now we got to go up here to our Bale Alfalfa, because remember the one we changed before was our Bale Alfalfa Hay. Now we're going to change our Bale Alfalfa. So right click, edit with Notepad++. We're going to go up here in our Bale Grass. We're going to change that to Bale Alfalfa 240 and PNG. All right, so that one's good to go. We're gonna hit save. If you'll notice here, the little disc here on this tab is red. That means it hasn't been saved yet. There's changes that hasn't been saved. So we'll save, and you'll notice that turns to blue. Okay, so now we've got that done there. We're gonna go over to our HD Square Bales folder, which is in our map, is in the mods folder, in the map folder in question that we're working in, bales folder, and then wherever your bales are for your particular baler. All right, so we're here again. Just gonna right click and paste. Okay, and that again, that pastes in our Bale Alfalfa 240 _ diffuse PNG file. Now we're going to go up here to this Bale Alfalfa 100. We're going to right click, edit with Notepad++. We're going to do the same thing right here. We're going to say Bale Alfalfa 240 _ diffuse .png. Okay, we're going to save that one. And again, guys, in that first video where I show how to set up alfalfa bales in these small square alfalfa bales in the map and in with the baler, I go into a lot more detail of, what is Notepad++, what is Paint.net, what is um, all that. So if you're looking for more information, go check that video out first, or go check that video out anyways if you haven't seen it yet. All right, so that should be good to go. Now I'm going to start my game back up and double check and make sure everything's good to go, make sure I haven't missed anything, and we should see some brand new alfalfa bale textures on those two bales that we saw there by the hay baler. So check you guys back in a minute. All right, guys, are you ready to see the big reveal of the custom bale textures? Well, here they are. So here are our custom alfalfa square bale textures that we made. So this, in real life, this baler here is actually a twine tie baler. It doesn't use wire like some of the older square balers use. It's actually a twine tie. So I went ahead and I created the twine tie. That's the red color here, is the color of the twine. And so yeah, there you go. Here is our alfalfa bale textures. See, there's the alfalfa. Let's see, this is the alfalfa hay, and then this one is just the wet uncured alfalfa. And you'll notice, so let me pick this bale up here and we'll walk over here to our windrow. You'll notice it looks a lot alike, right? Which is like how it should be. So, and again, if you want to know how I created these custom bale textures, I'm willing to do that for you guys if you're really that interested and you want to know how. But I want to know that I'm not just wasting my time. So if you will put if the comments for this video, if 10 different people, 10 different accounts say, hey, I want you to go through the steps in Paint.net as to how you created your custom bale textures, I'll do that for you. But you just gotta let me know. So guys, I've got to do this now also for I'm going to do it for round bales, and I'm going to do it for the big square bales, the big 4x4 big square bales. If I run onto anything that's interesting or that's different for round bales and the big bales, I will make another video about those. But I think for now I'm gonna call my alfalfa square bale tutorial series, I think I'm gonna call it good with this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Please comment if you feel so inclined. I love the comments. It just makes me kind of feel like what I'm doing is not a waste of time, and that if I've helped you, if you found this helpful and interesting, please let me know, because I don't think I'm just out here alone trying to make Farming Simulator great again. But it's always nice to know that somebody else has found value in what I do. Also, please go check out my role-playing series. Really, the biggest reason why I created these custom bale textures is so that I could use them in my role-playing series, because in the next video that I'm going to shoot in my role-playing series, I'm going to be baling some alfalfa squares. So you guys check out my channel, check out my role-playing series. If you like this video, thank you so much, guys. I'll stop wasting your time. Happy farming, happy baling. See ya.